Michael Stewart said he can only see one winner next weekend. Cameron Carter-Vickers cannot wait for next weekend's showdown. Chris Sutton said that VAR should be cancelled. We'll talk about it. Ange Postecoglou gives us an update on a couple of Celtic players that did not play yesterday. And Iwata got massive praise for the manager up in Dingwall yesterday. Tell me what you think about Iwata. Is he a direct replacement for Hatate if Celtic were to take a big offer for Hatate this summer? And on loan striker Johnny Kenny feels he can recapture his best form with Shamrock Rovers. That's all in today's Celtic FC news. So back to yesterday. What about Bernabe's goal? That was an absolute screamer. It's always a hard place to go up in Dingwall. A lot of people complaining especially on social media, saying that we played terrible and the first half was just unbelievable. I think when you've got a team that sets itself up to defend, anybody that's played the game at any level will know that trying to play against a team that's defending so good and so deep, it can be really hard, and it's up to us to try and break us down. You know, it's just one of those things. It is the way that Scottish football is. Is it good for the game? I don't think so, really, because we've seen teams that have come out and had a go. Fair enough, they've still got beat 2-0, but they've made a more spectacle of the game, and I think they came out a bit better. So moving on to that, Cameron Carter-Vickers basically said that after the goals yesterday, he says it wasn't as smooth as the game. Was it a penalty? Of course it was a penalty. It comes off the boy's arm. It looks like Carter-Vickers is going to actually head it, but he kind of misses it and it comes off the boy's arm. It's a penalty all day long. He runs to the ref straight away. It's a penalty, do you know? It says VAR did give it. Nobody's seen it in real time, but it is what it is. We've had these given against us. Talking about next week, Michael Stewart says that basically you can only see one winner next weekend. He says when the Rangers come up against the likes of Hatate and McGregor and Moy, who should all be back, I think there's only going to be one winner. Chris Sutton, talking about VAR, he was given a cheeky little dig from his I'm not even going to say his name because he's just a complete waste of space, but he was asked about Celtic beating Ross County, but it wasn't a handball. What's happening? Says Robbie Savage. There I go, I said his name. He's an absolute clown on the telly, but never mind. So are most Seth Conans, but he said he was hardly shrinking from an opinion. The big Sutton said, well, VAR in Scotland has been a disaster. They should just scrap it. I think bringing it in halfway during the season was always going to be a nightmare. They should have trialled it in pre-season games first so that they got up to speed with it. I think it's just been a complete nightmare. Talking about it next week, hopefully next week, Ange Postecoglou says Hatate should be back. With him and Aaron Moy were close. They weren't quite ready for the weekend, but they've got a full week in training this week, and if everything goes well, they should be available. Leo Labada and Tony Ralston will be out for a few weeks more, and it looks like Greg Taylor might have a knee injury. That was a cracker. The two of them scalped their knees off each other. We did get back to 9 points and a cushion of 27 goals. There's absolutely, we basically win this weekend, and I've always said it. We win this weekend, we go 12 points clear. You know, it's after yesterday, I think it was 5 games to win the league. It's all in our hands. Talking about in your hands, talking about Tomoki Iwata. He earned a glowing report from the manager yesterday, and the Celtic manager, Ange Postecoglou, tipped the midfielder to follow in the footsteps of Rio Hatate template. So what do you think about that? Is that a little nod to the future? Because you know how the manager does like bringing in players early to make sure that they're bedded in before a first team player does leave. Is that a nod to the fact that Celtic might be open to selling Rio Hatate this summer to fund more players coming in? That's one thing that we need to ask, and I'm sure it'll get played out over the summer. But Iwata shone throughout the first start for Celtic. It was his first start in the hoops. It wasn't a great game, to be honest. You know, it wasn't the best of games, but you can't expect anything else. The 25-year-old was unleashed in Dingwall due to the absence of Rio Hatate and Aaron Moy in the middle of the park. How do you think he got on? Is he as good as Hatate? I don't think he is. I don't think O is as good as Kyogo either, but Kyogo didn't get the service that he was really looking for yesterday. It's just one of those things. I think that when you've got a team that's sitting back so hard, and it's hard to get some decent crosses in for Kyogo, On another day, we could have won 4-0. So let's move on. On Celtic loan player Johnny Kenny feels that he can recapture his best form with Shamrock Rovers. Obviously, the under 21-year-old played again for Rovers at the weekend, and he scored the goal. He's got his mojo back. He's saying, after playing for the Ireland 21 against Iceland, followed up with a goal for Shamrock Rovers on Friday. Kenny says he's in a good place just now, and it didn't work out for him for whatever reason at Queen's Park, but he drew a blank with I think he had 12 appearances for Queen's Park, and he was only there from the August to December. Will he come back as a Celtic player? He is only 19-year-old, but it'll be one of those ones. I'm not sure if he'll make it as a Celtic player or not. So tell me your thoughts in the comments with that. Tell me your thoughts about the game yesterday, and what about the Celtic B team against the Rangers B team. Oh man, they just never learn. And on that note, have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to